Hey, so we have Luis Ortega here, who is actually someone that attended some of our recruitment events with Microsoft. In case you guys don't know who I am, my name is Will Moss. I'm with HBCU CONNECT. I'm also a partner with Trabajamos, which helps us partner with Microsoft to bring in more Latinx talent into Microsoft. And then HBCU CONNECT helps us bring in more diverse talent as well. So we have Luis. So Luis, you attended some of our events before. Did you attend more than one event, or was it just one event that you attended?
Hey, Will. Well, I actually attended about five of the events.
Okay.
I uncovered HBCU probably through a LinkedIn post
Okay.
of somebody, and what caught my attention was that your organization focused a lot on the represented minorities at some extent. And even though I don't have a historically like a university degree, I'm Hispanic and kind of related to what the organization does.
Mhm.
So the first event I attended, I think it was one of the Xbox ones.
Okay.
Um,
And that was a huge event. I think we had like almost 300 people.
yes, no, oh yeah, there's at least 300 people joining in these events. You learn a lot about what Microsoft and Xbox are doing and how the different opportunities that they have relate to the work that they're doing. Then you have employees joining, talking about their experiences and why is it important for them to have these events. So you attend, and then you obviously pre-submit your resume, your information, and it's HBCU makes it very clear. Hey, you may or may not get called. They do review all of the resumes, and you know hope to hear from you. So I attended the Xbox event. I think I attended a couple more about Microsoft in general, Office, and some others. I always submitted my profile, and one of the things I already knew of or kind of accepted is that you have to be persistent,
Yes.
right? The expectations of you getting noticed
Mhm.
within the first event at HBCU are maybe low. If you think about 300-400 people attending,
Right.
do the math.
Right.
So I kept on attending. The schedules were fitting nicely. Thursdays 4 or 5 p.m. something like that, very reasonable. And I kept submitting, and then one day, Jesse Sparks,
Mhm.
who I will never forget, of course, and neither will, reach out to me for they look at my profile through the HBCU event, and they wanted to talk to me. And that's how it all started. After that, it's a another interesting story. Happy to walk you through, but that's how it happened to me through HBCU. And the key word was persistence, I guess.
So would love to understand that's so where are you located first off?
So I'm originally from Mexico. I moved to US in 2015 to
Okay.
New Jersey, and then 3 years ago I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. Are you well, we'll get into your current role and how that worked out. But I am interested. So once Jesse reached out to you, how did the interaction go? So for those of you guys that don't know, Jesse Sparks is my main contact at Microsoft that helps us pull off these events for different teams within Microsoft. And then Jesse helps Microsoft digest the talent, and he works for Microsoft. So Jesse reached out to you and would love to know how the story went after that.
So he reaches out to me about this time a year ago,
Okay.
between May and June.
Okay.
Xbox event was in May. He reached out in early June,
Okay.
and looking to explore for an opportunity for program management at Microsoft. And the first thing that happened, he scheduled within the first week and a half, he scheduled a call with one senior PM who I had a conversation for about an hour and a half.
Wow.
It was they cover a lot of aspects, right? Behavioral, technical, at some extent, experiences and whatnot. And one important, very very important factor I think that people need to understand is that you need to come prepared.
Okay.
And preparation for interviews at Microsoft are something that needs to be taken pretty seriously if you
Yep.
don't have experience with. And I can tell you probably practice for after that interview, I probably practiced for maybe a month and a half on
Okay.
a daily basis,
Okay.
about 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
Um, and the reason being is that the type of questions you get, um, you try to explore and really uncover who you really are and how that experience relates to the culture of the company,
Mhm.
even beyond your technical abilities.
Yeah.
So that happened. He scheduled that first interview, and then about a month later, I had my first interview cycle. Right,
Okay. Yep.
interview cycle is about 6, 7 1-hour interview calls within a day. Pre-COVID, you used to go to Seattle and have this in person, but in this case, I scheduled my interview cycle on a Friday,
Okay.
all the way from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Even virtually it was that hard. Okay.
it was, and at the end of the day, and I did it on Friday on purpose so I can have the weekend, because you after starting rehearsing, practicing, talking about it, and then doing the real interview cycle,
You
you're
want to relax.
you're
Yeah.
drained. Yeah, you're tired. That interview was, I don't remember the team was, but I think the feedback was quite positive. Jesse called me within 2 hours, and
Okay.
he said, "We're gonna make you an offer."
Okay.
2 hours of
Okay.
ending, and obviously I was very happy. That was June. Unfortunately, due to some unrelated circumstances, the role wasn't closed for me.
Okay.
I waited for about a couple of months, and Jesse was always, making sure that I knew what was happening,
Okay.
but it didn't work.
Okay.
So then I went through a second process with the hand of Jesse,
Okay.
and he sent me through another interview cycle. You usually have an interview with a hiring manager, and then he sends you with the team, so you have the interview cycle. Interview cycles is you're talking people within the team you might be working on, and maybe plus somebody else from another organization that can give you another perspective.
Okay.
So I went through that. It went fantastic as well. I also received very positive feedback, even email from the hiring manager saying, "Hey, you did great. We need to talk to more people. You did awesome. I just want to let you know." It didn't work out.
Okay. Different
Um,
team. Okay. Second. Okay.
they picked somebody else. One of the things that I love about the process is that it's very transparent, right? It tells you, look, you did great, but there was somebody else who was a better fit.
Okay.
But keep trying.
Yep.
Keep trying, and that's the message I keep getting.
Okay.
I think by that time you also follow up with me over email. You probably have a lot of follow-ups to do, but you follow up, and I kind of told you, hey, this is what's happening, kind of manage your expectations briefly.
Yep.
But the great thing is that, and I continue to attend HBCU events,
Okay.
still for Microsoft. So one of the things that I like about HBCU is that you have so many companies engaged that you might not be in tech, but you might be in financial services or in products, merchandise, etc. And I receive every week events. I'm not active searching right now, of course, but even if you're not looking for a job, some of these events, give you a lot of information that you
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
You get to see people, what these companies do, and
Yeah.
who knows.
Eye opening. Yep.
So that was it on the second round. That was about August. And no, that went all the way till October, and November, December, white noise.
Right. Okay.
But by that time, it was December break. I didn't push too hard. I was just, in standby mode, trying to digest everything. I also needed a break because going through two back-to-back interview cycles, interview loops is exhausting.
Mhm.
And then second week of January, Jesse sends me an email again, and with a formal offer this time.
Oh wow. So
With
they
a-
found so they found a team that was a fit and they were ready to bring you on board.
There was no interview loop this time.
Okay.
The hiring manager talked to me in a very informal way, and then he basically asked me, "What do I need to do for you to start as soon as possible?" That was the question. And what do you want to know about my team? Because
See, that's one thing I like about Microsoft is when you go through those interview loops, they have to document how it goes. And if you get positive feedback, that's what I try to tell some other candidates. you go through the process, you get positive feedback, you're building a track record within Microsoft, and that's what can happen. It's because I told one of my buddies I'm trying to get in at Microsoft, right? He's a software engineer. And I was telling him, hey man, if you get the offer or you get to the point of an offer, that'll just help you in the future. Even if you don't accept it, you've gone through the process, they have the notes on you. And then you can, so you're living proof of that. So that, man, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. It honestly was unbelievable. I agree with you. You leave a record, even if you don't get selected, it's not a failure.
Right.
It's first of all, it's a learning for you.
Yep.
Learning for your professional career. After you go through an interview loop, I think you're a superhuman. Or men or women, you're a superhuman already, because the level these interviews have are top of the world. And after going through these interviews, even if you don't succeed, I will tell people you can go anywhere you want.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's a track record to the point that for me in January, there was not even a need for an interview.
That's right.
And of course I accepted the offer. The most important, pardon me?
I was going to say, so was it worth going through all of that preparation? Once you get, I'm not going to ask you what your offer was, but was it worth it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And yes, I think it tastes a little bit better. I don't know. It's a bittersweet, but at the same time, it's just unbelievable. I think I remember this at the exact time. It was a Sunday, 11:30 p.m. Don't ask me why I was awake, but because I was 12, at midnight, and I see the email
From Jesse.
From Jesse, and it's a feeling that Microsoft was the company I wanted to work for.
Yeah.
That I had. Well, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And of course, you can't sleep after that very well. And there's also this time where you need to talk to people, negotiate the offer, you name it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I started so after the January email, I needed some time to leave my previous company, and I started on March 1st, 2021, which is 2.5 months ago.
And which team are you working on?
So I joined Microsoft 365. The organization I'm part of is working particularly with substrate intelligence. And the features that my team is working on are AI-based features to infer knowledge for people. Okay. And I do manage maybe 3-4 things for Microsoft, including conversations with external clients and a few other interesting things. The great thing about this is that when I look back at the first roles I was interviewed for, and I'm thankful they actually didn't me, because what I'm doing right now is product program management in AI-based products at Microsoft, which is exactly what I wanted to do.
There it is. That's man, this is a really good story. Super happy for you, and I want to congratulate you. But another thing I want to touch on, how much experience did you bring to the table when you came to these meetings? And that's, don't worry, it's a little one.
Yeah. It's interesting because I have about 10 years of industry experience with multiple clients and industries.
Okay.
And when you join Microsoft with this information, I think there's a lot that you can contribute, especially if you have different scenarios or different situations you're being with. What usually happens with product-based companies is that there's a limit to what a company can see, right? And it's very difficult to put yourself on the client's shoes unless you've been there.
Yeah.
In my case, for an experienced hire, I bring a lot of that in terms of I know how clients feel, how some of the clients think. I know financial services industry, I know telecommunications industry. I bring a lot of, I guess, organization and discipline in the way I do program management, and that helps a lot. And at the same time, Microsoft and many other companies are working with things that you have no idea about their existence before. So it's a learning process. You have time to learn, right? There's an expectation for you to learn, absorb, and understand the company's culture. And if you are part of an ERG, even better. There's an expectation to that, but yeah, I mean, in my case, experience hard, and I can tell you, even with non-experienced employees working at Microsoft, I can see that the diversity, I've already seen the effect of diversity in product-based decisions.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not going into details, but I've seen it. Like, you hear a lot of diversity and how it's important and different perspectives. It's real. It's
Well,
real and helps and impacts.
well, I won't hold you up too long. I know we're getting ready to go into Friday and the weekend, but I wanted to just touch on that because a lot of people think our events are just for recent graduates, right out of college. But I'm here to tell you, that Microsoft is looking for folks that have even 10 plus years of experience.
Yes.
And a lot of times they want to partner with us just to have an event for folks that have that much experience. So
Yes.
I'm glad that we had a chance to talk and get your story. This is proof positive of Microsoft's efforts and also proof positive of your persistence paying off. So really appreciate your time, man. I really appreciate you coming to our events and making this a reality, because when this story happens, it perpetuates it for other people that are coming up, that are the version of you, behind you coming up. So without you guys coming to the events and going through that process and being persistent and us having the success, we wouldn't be able to continue to do it. So I thank you for that. And I appreciate you.
And I wanna thank you and your organization for what you do,
Yeah,
because I don't think I would have been where I am if HBCU Connect, if Wilmos was not there. And that's the reality. I tried joining Microsoft through other ways without success, and HBCU made it reality. And
I appreciate that.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
there's a story behind that as well. There's a gentleman that reached out to me from Microsoft about 8 or 9 years ago named Sean Kelly, and I always thank him because he started this wave of movement between us and Microsoft in this partnership that has yielded hires for Microsoft every year since we met. So yeah, it goes back to some trailblazers at Microsoft that were looking at diversity and how we can expand up into our partnership now, where they asked my organization to expand our scope as well, within the diversity lens. So no, man, I thank you and I appreciate that. So I'll let you get to your Friday, but this is very valuable. I'm going to share it not only with new folks that attend our events, but also with some folks that might not understand how that persistence pays off, right? So I thank you.
Thank you, Will. Thank
Okay,
you.
man. Take care.
Weekend.
Enjoy your Friday.